Well, hello, everyone. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Angela. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for coming in. It's good to see everybody. It's been a hot minute since I've been on. I hope I remember how this works. I got to push a bunch of buttons. Hey, Ada K, good to see you in here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for modding. I appreciate that. So today is a really special day. Obviously, a very somber day, a very difficult day for London's mom and family. So I thought we needed to come on and talk about London and do what we can to remember her and continue the fight for justice for London. And what better way to get back in the saddle? I'm just going to take my time. I've got a few things to go over today regarding, obviously, London's case. There are a couple of new things. There's a video that I recorded about a month ago. I want to share all of that with you. There are some court documents. And I'm trying a new thing with the court documents. So I got the transcript from last December's hearing, and it's really short. It's only 8 pages long. So I did a little trial run with some AI reading of that and have some things to tweak on that and figure out. So I'll share that with all of you guys and get your opinion and see what you guys think about this AI reading of the transcripts. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. And there's my sister from another mister. Lori and Trace, Ada K. There we go. That's why we're here today, Justice for London. Angela, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that and for your help with modding. I guess we might as well get right into it. We'll go to Hooker, Oklahoma first, and I have shared this video before, but I'm going to do it one more time just to get everybody in that slides in PDF, share screen. Here we go. Just to get everybody boots on the ground into Hooker, Oklahoma, and to see what it was like for a 16-year-old girl who had bigger aspirations than spending the summer after school let out in this wide open country. So add to screen, add to stage. Let's do it like that. That works. So this is last fall when I was out there, just a little drive in to take us back to Hooker, Oklahoma. If the volume is low, everybody let me know. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is low. So I'm going to turn it up just a little. And if you need to turn it up a little more, let me know. So this was the first time I ever turned off of US 54 and actually went into Hooker. This was when I was looking for the police station to have an interview with Chief Hedrick. Hi, June. Welcome in. Right now, we're showing a video that I've showed before, but this takes you boots on the ground into Hooker, Oklahoma. And that's me getting lost. I drove right past the police station. I'm like, wait, it's behind me. Here's the post office. At least they still have a post office. Some small towns shut down their post office. Hooker's is still open. But then I did a little intro in front of the police station. Still going the wrong way, Joe. And I want to air that just because it gives a little bit of a case summary. And I think I may have gotten a couple of the facts mixed up, and we'll straighten those out after I air that little. There we go. And now I'm right across from the police station. So now I'll give the little recap that I gave in front of the police station, so everybody is aware of what London's case is about, just because it's been a minute since I've gone over the facts. And I think that's the next one I have queued up here. No, that's not. They're not in order. That's great.
Hi, Joe Schmo here.
Give me just a minute here, folks.
State of Oklahoma versus.
We're all out of whack. There we go. And I'm going to have to go backwards when I do the other videos. But I did drive through the Panhandle back a month ago, almost exactly a month ago, 4.5 weeks. And I recorded a little video in the Hooker Cemetery in front of London's burial site. So I'll air that here after this. Let's add that back to the stage. It doesn't want me to do that. There we go. Add to the stage. And here we go. This is my little case summary I did right in front of the Hooker PD headquarters. Let's skip a little. This isn't the edited one. Oh no, this is leaving. This is leaving Hooker. Never mind. This isn't what I thought it was. I must not have put it in my playlist. Nope. So I have to go back and find that now. Give me just a minute. Bear with me, folks. I apologize. That one video I wanted to show isn't in here. I didn't put it in the playlist. My fault. So we skipped right past it. Bear with me. We'll just skip it for now. It's not that big of a deal because I also kind of give a summary in the video that I did from the cemetery. There we go. That one. So this was from Hooker Cemetery. Oh, did I leave StreamYard? No, I'm still there. It's going to be a bumpy ride, folks. Buckle up. Share screen. There we go. Hey, I'm there. So this is from Hooker Cemetery a month ago. Squeegee, welcome in. Hey there, good to see you. I'm still getting things figured out tech-wise, Squeegee. It's a little rough to start.
Hi, Joe Schmo here. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and since I was driving through the Panhandle, I thought I would bring all of you with me over to the Hooker Cemetery to do a little update on the London Valdez case. A little windy out, so you'll have to excuse the camera shaking and the wind of the microphone. It gets to be really windy at times. So an update on the case, judicial-wise, court-wise, there's not a whole lot going on because if you remember right, February 6th, there was a preliminary hearing for Brayden Brown, and the judge set the trial days for sometime in September, if I remember right, which is a long time to wait and a long time to make the family wait for justice. But it's been a while since I've given an update. This seems like a good place because I want to let everybody know that I haven't forgotten about London and I haven't forgotten about fighting for justice for London. And we are going to continue that fight through all of the delays in the meeting.
So the static you're hearing right now is the wind. It was really windy out there that day. So the microphone is picking up the wind. It'll get better in a second here. Bear with me. But then you'll see the camera shaking a little bit too. That's not me shaking. That's the camera. Here we go.
And that's court-wise. And we know right over there is the town of Hooker. I'm going to rotate you guys around just a second. There's the town of Hooker where London disappeared last June the 5th. She walked out of the house and was never seen alive again by her family. She was seen alive for 2.5 days after that by the two men involved in her death, one of whom has been charged and one of whom has not. We're still waiting for that. There's the waiting picking up. So court-wise, also the transcripts from the February 6th hearing, we haven't gotten yet. They're still in the works. It's going to be a long document, 175 pages or so. The court recorder told me this week. So once we get that, we'll be going over that in detail. But in the meantime, we're getting ready to have a couple of really big dates on the calendar-wise related to.
So keep in mind once again, hold on, switch back. Keep in mind once again, this is before Mother's Day. This is over a month ago. This is actually the Sunday before Mother's Day. I meant to air this video before Mother's Day and I just had production glitches all over the place. So here we are airing it, but I talk about it before Mother's Day. So I talk about Mother's Day and then I talk about today and then the upcoming week that's going to be really difficult. So just a brief explanation on that.
London's disappearance and death. First of all, a week from today is Mother's Day. And this will be Brittany Valdez, that's London's mom. This will be her first Mother's Day without London. So you know that's going to be tough for her. And then a month after that, coming up a month from the 5th, 2 days, is the 1-year anniversary of London's disappearance. And the week that followed after that, of all the chaos of looking for her, the search, the lack of search, and then eventually finding her remains outside of Forgan, Oklahoma on June 12th. So June 5th to June 12th of this year is going to be rough for them as well. That's basically got to be London's week to remember her. So that's the update right now. Stay tuned. I do have the transcripts from the December hearing. I won't say it's a nothing burger, but there wasn't a whole lot that went on in that, but we will go over those in detail. It's a very short document. But in the meantime, I wanted to bring you guys out here with me to London's gravesite, where she was laid to rest last June, and remind everybody that we're still fighting for justice for London. And keep fighting, keep sending prayers to mom and grandma and all of the family and all of the friends that are still struggling with this on a daily basis. And I do mean daily basis. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of your thoughts and prayers and whatever form you send out, good energy to help them along through this. And we will keep fighting for justice for London.
Okay, so that wraps up the little video that I made in the Hooker Cemetery. Ada K, thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate you so much. I'll go over that at the end here. I don't want to interrupt my London coverage, but I will say big thank yous to everybody at the end. But thank you, Ada K. I appreciate that so much. And today is about London and remembering London, but it's also about justice for London. So it's a really tough spot to be in, because I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time talking about those two men that were last seen with her. But we have to, because we have to keep our eye on the ball wherever it goes. And one of those is keeping track of the court proceedings. So we've got the big transcript coming up from February 6th, and that is a big transcript with a lot of very key legal arguments that are made in that. And I'm going to break it all down for you, but it's going to take some time. So first, before we do that, we'll go over the December 17th preliminary hearing that was held for Mr. Brown last year. And that transcript was only 8 pages long. And so I put together a little video with an AI reading it, and there are a lot of problems with it, but having problems with it will help it get better, right? So first off, I'll pull it up here while we're talking about it. That, and then we'll go over this little AI of the court transcript from December, and you guys can help me. That's it right there. That was the next one in the thing. So, so this is a copy of the transcript from December 17th, and AI is going to read it for us. First of all, this is over 2 of Mr. Brown's cases. And also, when we go over that big transcript, I'm going to show pictures of the major players if we have them. We have a picture of Judge Abby Cash. We have a picture of the District Attorney Buddy Leach. We have a picture of ADA Parker Olmsted. I couldn't find a picture of the defense attorney. We do have a picture of the defendant, but then we also have Special Agent Ryan Beck, and we have, I think now, former Under Sheriff Jason Johnston. Can't find a picture of him, of either of those two guys. We don't want to show a picture of Special Agent Beck. That might compromise his security. And so this, as I was saying, this is going to be a little awkward. The next one with the big transcript is going to be better. We're going to have to break it down over several days because of the length of it. Also in this one, you'll notice before each person in the transcript speaks, they say their name before actually what they say. I'm going to get rid of that because the long transcript is a lot of question and answer, so they don't need to say their name every time. And actually on this one, they don't need to say their name every time, but it does help to follow along a little bit on the shorter one. It'd just be overly annoying on the big one. Plus AI and I work together to come up with the voices. I think Buddy Leach sounds a little bit like George W. Bush. But if the voices can get better, then I'm open to suggestions for the voices getting better for the big transcript. All right. Having said that, I will let this roll. This is an 8-page transcript. Actually, it's just 6 pages. You got the cover sheet and you got the end sheet. and 6 pages in the middle of the hearing from December 7th, 2017. That was a preliminary hearing for the state of Oklahoma versus Brayden Brown.
State of Oklahoma versus Brayden Gene Brown. Case number CF-2025-13. Case number CM-2026-24. Preliminary hearing conference held on December 17th, 2025 before the Honorable Abby M. Cash in the First Judicial District Court of Beaver County, Oklahoma.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. First matter on the docket this morning is CF 2025-13, styled the State of Oklahoma versus Defendant Brayden Gene Brown.
ADA Parker. Olmsted. Honorable Judge, may I get Buddy Leach on the phone?
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Yes, that's fine. Good morning, Mr. McCaffrey. The court is sitting this morning in cause CF-2025-13 and CM-2025-24. Both styled the State of Oklahoma versus Defendant Brayden Gene Brown. I will note for purposes of the record that Mr. Brown is present with counsel, Mr. McCaffrey, the court's appointed attorney. Counselors, it looks like the CM 2025-24 cause comes on today for status. Is that correct?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. I guess I just had it trailing, Your Honor. I did not have a very specific announcement.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Okay. I have that one for status, likely because it was a trailing matter. And CF 2025-13 is set for preliminary hearing conference. Are we prepared to proceed with setting a preliminary hearing, counselors?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. That would be the request of the defense, Your Honor.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Mr. Olmsted, is the state prepared to set the matter for preliminary hearing?
Ada Parker Olmsted. I believe so, Judge.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Let's first discuss how long the hearing will take.
A DA Parker. Olmsted. May I approach and get the phone closer?
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Yes.
A DA Parker Olmsted. Buddy, can you hear Judge?
DA George Buddy Leach III. Yes, I can. Are we doing the preliminary hearing on both felony cases?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. There is only one felony case.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. We only have one felony cause. I am sitting in CF-2025-13 and CM-2025-24, so I am going to set one felony cause for preliminary hearing. How long will the state need for presentation?
DA George Buddy Leach III. Judge, I think half a day.
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. Your Honor, I think we should probably reserve an entire day.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. How long until you can be prepared to proceed with preliminary hearing, Mr. Leach?
DA George Buddy Leach III. With the holidays, Judge, if you can give us about a month, perhaps the first or second week in February.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Full days are easier to find on Fridays or sometimes Mondays. I could do February 2nd or February 6th. Do either of those work for you, Mr. McCaffrey?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. The 6th for sure works.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Mr. Leach?
DA George Buddy Leach III. February 6th sounds great.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. I will set this matter for preliminary hearing on February 6th, 2026, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. I will do my best to have a live court reporter available that day. I will reserve the entire day for the cause.
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. If it appears the court reporter is not available, and I would like to have a conference about that. My preference is to have her here for the preliminary hearing.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. It is my preference as well, and I will do my best to make that happen.
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. Thank you, Judge.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Are there any additional orders you request in the case?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. No, Your Honor.
A DA Parker. Olmsted. No, Judge.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Mr. Brown, I will see you again for purposes of preliminary hearing on February 6th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Between now and then, do your best to stay in touch with Mr. McCaffrey.
Defendant Brayden Gene Brown. Yes, ma'am.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Counselors, regarding the misdemeanor case, does it make sense to continue trailing it, or should it be set separately for status?
ADA Parker Olmsted. I would prefer it track with the felony.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. The misdemeanor call docket is Friday, February 13th. Is there any reason we could not proceed with pleading and set it on that docket?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. I do not think there is a problem with that, Your Honor. We can enter a not guilty plea today and set it on the 13th, then see what happens on February 6th and decide where to go from there.
District Attorney George Buddy Leach III. That sounds great.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash, I will show that Mr. Brown has entered a not guilty plea. In cause CM-2025-24 through counsel, you will be set on the jury call docket in the misdemeanor case on February 13th, 2026 at 9 o'clock in the morning. On that day, be prepared to announce whether you wish a trial by jury or a trial to the bench.
Defendant Brayden Jean Brown, yes, ma'am.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash, any additional orders in the misdemeanor case?
Public Defender Nathan McCaffrey. No, Your Honor. Thank you.
IDA Parker Olmsted. No, Judge.
Honorable Judge Abby M. Cash. Mr. Brown, you are free to go about your business. Have a Merry Christmas, sir, and stay in touch with Mr. McCaffrey.
Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but that bored the crap out of me. So there's some tweaking to do before we get to the larger transcript. And as you could tell, there were some glitches in there, like they didn't say ADA Parker Olmsted the entire time. And we wouldn't be saying his name all that much anyway, like maybe 4 or 5 times for the bigger one, because he did direct exam on 3 of the witnesses, and DA Leach did the cross exam or the direct exam of Special Agent Beck. So we're not going to be saying their names that much, but then also sometimes AI would say 2025, and then sometimes it would say 2025 or 2025. So there's just some glitchiness with it. There's a little bit of awkward dialogue that goes on in there. It's a little too herky-jerky for me. So there's room for improvement, and I'm going to work on that, but I need to do it quickly because we are going to be going over that in the very near future. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Do I have it pulled up? I do. So this is huge. This is what I've been waiting on from the Beaver County Recorder. It took a long time. It's been a long time coming. So this is the transcript from February 6th. This is just the cover page. So I want to show you the index also because we need to be going over that. And I don't have it on this. I don't have it on this laptop. I don't have the whole thing. So just a teaser then, folks. This is just a teaser. This is page 1 of 171 pages that I'll be going over in the near future. And I want to thank the court recorder for being diligent with that, but we have a lot of work to do to go over that. I don't have a lot of media assets to share with you for London, and that's a shame because today is about her. I do want to share with everybody, though, if you want to send me your mailing address, I have several of these. And if you email me, I'm going the wrong way. If you email me your mailing address, I will send you a Justice for London wristband. No donation needed. I couldn't grift it like that anyway. I don't want it to seem tainted. So I have a whole bunch of these wristbands, but they have to be first come, first serves because eventually they all will run out. But we need to keep justice for London at the forefront of our thoughts. And I have several of these extra, and this court case is dragging on. It's hard for me to believe that they went all the way to September with a trial, from February to September. So the family's waiting, we're waiting, and we're not going to forget London. I do want to drive you through the town of Hooker, though. So that one video that I pulled up, that wasn't the one that I thought that I pulled up. I want to share with you a little drive around the town of Hooker. It goes right past Hooker High School. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if that's what it's called. But it goes right past the high school and the school, out to the edge of town, and then back through past the school and on out through town. And just think about what it was like for her as a teenager to walk through the streets of Hooker, Oklahoma. Where did that go? Here we go. All right, so we got to back up. Actually, before we do that, we'll do that to the end. So we'll just do a little case recap real quick. And something that makes it seem like it's dragging on a little slower was how frustrated the family was. And that was one of the things that struck me when I first started covering this case, is how frustrated they were with the investigation into London's death and not getting any answers from the OSBI, not getting answers from the local and county law enforcement offices. And finally, I got a hold of the OSBI and I interviewed the OSBI public information manager. And I played that last fall. I'm going to play it again just because there's one shocking statement that he makes in there. And this was, if I remember right, this was late August, early September. So July, August, September, at least 3 months, 2.5, 3 months into the investigation. And I listened to this with Brittany and Rochelle, and they were just so disheartened by this. Looking back on it, I think he was keeping the OSBI's cards close to the vest. I don't think he was necessarily lying to me, but maybe he was misdirecting me away from what the OSBI was actually doing. So let me remove the transcript cover sheet and add this. It's just an audio file. It was just an audio interview on the phone. And it's only about 5 minutes long. But listen for what he tells us about suspects and persons of interest.
OSBI, this is Hunter.
Hi, Hunter. This is Joe with JS Media. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. So I'm covering the death investigation of London Valdez, and I have some questions. And I'm in contact with the family on a regular basis, and they haven't gotten any updates from Special Agent Beck in a while. So I'm just calling to see if maybe the OSBI is planning on some kind of a case update in the near future.
Yeah, Ryan Beck, who is the case agent on that, would be in contact with the family. I know that he says that he has been, and when he gets updates that he will. I mean, that's all that I can really say on that front. Of course, I work in their media department.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And I'm just going to express some frustration to you. And I know you have a limited amount of response that you can give to that, but it's been at least 2 weeks since he's given any investigation, and they have several questions that they would like answered in that investigation?
I will reach out to Ryan Beck and let him know, and we can go from there. But obviously, that's going to be a conversation between Ryan Beck and the family.
Right, and like I said, I'm in contact with the family, and they feel like they have not been updated as often as they should have, and they have questions. So I'm going to go over a couple of those questions with you just so I can get it.
Here's the thing: I'm not going to be able to answer those questions because I've been in contact with them as well. The answers that I have at this time, I've provided. And I just really have not, I don't have any other comment at this time. So I do apologize, and I understand that you're doing a story, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you've been in contact with them. There's just nothing else that I can add at this time.
Okay. All right. If there is any chance to get any kind of an update, like on the investigation at all, and I very well respect the fact that when you're in the middle of an investigation, there's limited information that can be disclosed. But also on the other side of that, there is some updating that should be going on with the family and with the public, through the media. So if there's any way we can get any kind of an update, that would be much appreciated.
So what I've relayed to them and what I can relay to you though is that there is a medical examiner's report that is available, right?
Yeah. Yes, I got that. I actually got that from the medical examiner before they got it, right. And I gave it to them before they got it from the ME.
Okay, great. Okay, so based on that, what I can say though is that right now, there are no suspects, there are no arrests, there are no charges.
Are there?
What we have so far.
Okay.
Did you catch that? I'm going to back up and replay that last 10 seconds or so. I didn't even ask him that. He volunteered that information. That was just crazy. All right, one more time.
That right now, there are no suspects, there are no arrests, there are no charges.
Are there?
What we have so far.
Okay, so are there persons of interest?
At this time, no.
Is there any type of unusual report from the ME based on the toxicity level of the methamphetamine toxicity in her liver?
That would be since the ME is the expertise on that, I would reach out to them. Again, I will relay to Ryan Beck what you're telling me in regards to the family and him giving them an update. But in terms of specifics about, what the ME had found, I think that would be best.
Okay. I get that. But just as a completely objective third party, having two adult males, and maybe with Brayden's dad being a third adult male that was last seen with her, that are not even persons of interest in this, is highly suspect to me, just as a media person.
I understand. I think that's all I'm probably going to be able to provide at this time. Yep. But I will relay that to Special Agent Beck.
Can I give you my phone number? And if he wants to reach out to me, okay. Yes. Okay. So this is Joe. Hi, Joe Schmo here.
Hold on. Get out of there. We did that one already. No, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I'll click the right buttons eventually. Yeah, Kimbers, that was interesting. No suspects, no arrests. And then I asked them, even persons of interest. They didn't even have any persons of interest. And when was that? That was last September, I think, like late August, early September. But as we know, there was an arrest made in late October. Yeah, and in an active investigation, that's to be expected. He couldn't say much. And it's funny when you cover stories or watch stories all across the country, how different jurisdictions seem to handle it differently. And some of them say more and divulge more and give you more evidence even during investigation, and some of them don't. Indiana, Oklahoma don't. Florida does, through their sunshine law. I think all states could model their approach to sharing with after Florida's sunshine law. Okay, so we have that little drive that I
State of
took
Oklahoma versus Brayden.
through the town of Hooker. Let's see. We don't want to watch me parked across from the police department for a full minute. So this is unedited. This is right after I interviewed Scott Hedrick, the Hooker police chief. And this is just a little quick drive through the town of Hooker. We're heading west-ish to go past the school. And if I understand right, London lived really close to the school. So may or may not, I don't know, pass by her house or near her. We will be at least near her house where she was living with her grandmother, Liz Taylor. There is no audio to this. My dash cam at that time wasn't recording audio. Thank goodness, because I had the radio going and I would probably get copyright struck for that. We can probably speed this up a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. So there's the school on your right. I think this was around the time when kids were getting let out. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of cars parked there. Maybe it was after they just got let out of school. And it's not long after the school when you're already on the edge of town. Boom, right there. So I'll do a little U-turn here in that parking lot and head back past the school and back to the edge of town on the other side. Right out into the country already. Now, when I talked to Chief Hedrick, he indicated that the youth really, there's not a huge drug problem with the youth in Hooker, Oklahoma. He said his biggest problems and headaches were things like vandalism, senior pranks, that sort of thing. So past the east side of the school, I think that's east. I don't know. US 54 is at an odd angle. It runs southwest to northeast, whereas we were coming in town northeast to southwest. No, southwest to northeast. So we're catty corner like 45 degrees. So we're running the cardinal directions, but I don't know what they are. Just a small town, a real small downtown to our right here. So I'm going to head back northeast, northeast to the edge of town on the other side. And that's pretty much it. Small town, rural Oklahoma. Horrible tragedy. Some of the frustrations of the family are that they don't feel like there was a really thorough search for London while she was still missing. And it took 5 days for them to find her body. She went missing on the 5th. Her body was found on the 7th and wasn't found until the 12th. Goes missing on the 5th, died on the 7th, wasn't found until the 12th. And there were problems with the decomposition of the body. Sorry to put it like that on today, but there are just so many questions that the family has. And that we've talked about. Yeah, that's a good point, Trace, on the case. Midwest towns struggle with addiction. I know in Indiana, opioids is a big one. It would be interesting to see what the statistics are. But US 54 has been identified by the FBI as a drug corridor. So it would seem unusual to me that there isn't a meth problem or addiction, substances of addiction of any kind in a small town like that. But that was particularly why I asked him about that, what the main problem was in Ogre. All right. Yeah, there is a lot of addiction in the US right now. I think I saw a statistic the other day where the US by far outpaces the rest of the world in illicit substance abuse and addiction, like a factor of like 10 of the next closest country. Like we consume more cocaine and meth than all the other countries in the world combined, just about. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating that, but on a per capita basis, we have such a problem in this country. And there's a new one out there that I'm going to be doing a show on in the near future. There's a new substance to me. It's been around for a while, and it's actually a natural substance that comes from Southeast Asia that is an opioid that is not controlled. And the name of it is kratom. And I know somebody right now that is in recovery for addiction to kratom. And he's agreed to come on the channel and talk about it. And I think we could all be educated about it, especially since it's not controlled. Like, I think the most that state legislators do about it is say you have to label it such and such. But other than that, so yeah, addiction is a problem. And I'll let Brittany, and Brittany has Brittany's talked about London's problems. She's not been shy about them. She's not shied away from them, but I'm not going to talk about them without her on here. If you want to go back and watch my interviews with her, she's been on my channel several times. And she's talked about London's problems. So here is a link to my playlist that has all of my London stuff so far, and there will be more when we get to this transcript. There's going to be a lot more because it's going to take us some time to get through this transcript, and I still have to figure out the best way to do it. I think that AI reading of it was proof enough that I needed that's not the way to do 170 pages, 7-hour court hearing. So I think that's all I have on my agenda today. Originally, Brittany was going to be able to come on, but she's having a rough time, understandably. So all the grace to her, all the prayers to her and her family, and to Liz, and to Paris. All of them deserve and need all of our support and love and prayers to get through this and through the next several months until we get to trial. One thing I did want to mention, so let's see, I pulled up that page. Let's see if it's still here. This is the last I want to talk about them today. But getting justice for London, as I said before, involves seeing the court cases of these two men that were last seen with her through to the end. And we know that Brayden has been charged, and he also has an unrelated misdemeanor case from October of last year. Excuse me. It's been so long, it only takes an hour to wear me out. But one thing that raises my eyebrows just a little bit, let's go last name, Minjares-Luna, first name, Jose. Let's see where his dockets are, where his charges are. All right, back to StreamYard. Let's share this. All right, here we are. We're in the Oklahoma State Court Network docket search. State of Oklahoma versus Jose Minjares-Luna. CF 2023-0015. So, if you remember right, this was an unrelated 2023 case where the charges were 9 charges, and I believe like 6 of those were felonies. Dismissed. The only one that he was jailed for was possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And he was given a deferred sentence or suspended sentence, whatever it was. He was out of jail. Spent basically, I think, maybe a few months in jail. Got out. Judge Abby Cash released him last January of 2025. In April of 2025, let's go down to that, which was, remember, just a couple months before London went missing. Here we go, April of 2025. Record of proceedings in open court. We don't need to go back over them. I've gone over them. I have a video in my playlist that's called What About Jose? And we go over these documents in detail. Basically, he pled to that one charge, and all the others were dismissed, and he was given a deferred sentence and let out. And almost exactly 2 months, April, May, June, that's 2 months later, he picks up London from her grandmother's house in Hooker, Oklahoma, and goes out and parties with her and Brayden for 2.5 days, gives Brayden the keys to the car. That's in the court documents. I'm not making that up. That's in the transcript, the court documents from the February 6th hearing. We will go over that in detail because after Brayden was charged, Jose, so there was a probable cause affidavit that was filled out by Hooker PD Chief Scott Hedrick. They used that probable cause affidavit to bring Jose back in. And in fact, they brought him in the day after. So there was a bench warrant issued. So it was 4 days after the February 6th hearing. Look right here, kind of the top middle of the page. Bench warrant filed on February 10th, 4 days after Brayden Brown's hearing. Amended application to accelerate deferred sentence. Application to accelerate minute order. So his deferred sentence was accelerated, and he was brought back in and put back in. I don't know if it was jail or prison, pending a hearing on this matter. So there was a hearing on that, the application to accelerate in March. And we do need to go over this in detail, just not today. I don't want to give him any more air today than he deserves, which is none today. But he pled to that. He pled to the application to accelerate, but we still have no charges filed. So there is, no charges filed in London's death, none. So if there was an application to accelerate and there was a probable cause affidavit filled out by Hooker PD Chief Scott Hedrick that was good enough for them to use as evidence that he violated the terms of his deferred sentence, that happened in Texas County. Hooker is in Texas County. It's not in Beaver County. It has nothing to do with what happened in Beaver County. It has to do with what happened in Texas County. Why haven't there been charges filed in Texas County for Jose? None, zero. Because what they did that weekend, and Special Agent Ryan Beck testified in detail to the 500 miles that they traveled on June 5th and 6th and 7th before Brayden crashed the truck or got the truck stuck, and he took off one way and London took off the other, which was the last time she was seen alive. They drove 500 miles in that 2.5 days with phone pings, with all three of them having phone pings in Beaver County, Texas County. I believe Liberal, Kansas was maybe on the list too. Guyman, Oklahoma, which is southwest of Hooker, Oklahoma, and Perryton, Texas. I think I said that right. Perryton, maybe. Anyway, they crossed at least one state line twice. Maybe they crossed another one, all outside of Beaver County, Oklahoma. One has to wonder where the charges are for Jose in London in relation to London's death or the events that occurred before London's death. Am I not up there? I've been sitting there talking and nobody told me that I'm not up there. There, now I'm up there. Hey, Golden Rule, welcome in. All right. So now that we're done talking about those two guys, and we're going to talk a lot more about them when I go over this 170-some page transcript in detail. There'll be some testimony we can breeze through, but Undersheriff or former Undersheriff Jason Johnston's testimony will be key to the trial. Special Agent Ryan Beck's testimony will be key to the trial. And we need to go in that in detail, and the legal arguments that happened after that. So after all of this testimony, both sides, the defense and the state, put on basically a little mini spiel for the judge, saying these are arguments why you should or should not hold Mr. Brown over for trial. And they were enough. The state's arguments, Buddy Leach's arguments, were good enough to convince the judge to hold him over. But he's got to have a higher level of convincing for the jury in September, because it's going to be proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And obviously we know there's a lower legal standard to hold him over for trial. But they met that, and they have some legal challenges that were argued extensively at the end of the hearing, and we'll want to go over those in detail. So we'll break it down. We'll break it down between the witnesses and the legal arguments at the end. We'll go over them in detail to get ready for trial prep in September. So let's see, where are my starred comments? Why can't I see this starred comments? Somebody help me out here. All right. I'll just manually go there. So Ada K with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Ada K. I appreciate it. Very generous of you. And also thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting Justice for London. Thank you, Ada K. I appreciate that. And then Angela Turtle Mom, new member. Thank you so much. And Ada K, she said she used to be a member and it lapsed. Not surprising, especially when when I haven't been broadcasting a lot. Man, a lot has been going on in the true crime world. A lot. We have a lot to talk about, but London comes first. Let's see. Let's end with my little 3-minute video of sunset at London Spot. Let's do that in honor of London. I'm sure London's grandma is probably out there this weekend, and maybe Brittany is too. I don't know, probably. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting London. Uh-oh. Oh, that's news to me. They're really not going to trial until the summer of 27? Holy cow. That doesn't make sense. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that update. That doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense why we need this long to prepare for trial, or why the defense and the state need this long to prepare for trial. But according to Tommy, they're not even going to start picking a jury until September. Interesting and disappointing. That doesn't make sense. Close out of that window. And all right, let me. There we go. I'm finding her video in the wrong order. There we go. Found it. I'm going to slow down the playback speed to normal speed so we can all sit out there at London Spot for the full 3 minutes and just listen to that Oklahoma wind. It really is a nice spot. I mean, besides obviously the tragedy that's associated with it. Share this. Let me get out of the way. What happened here? And I lost all of my options for where I go. That's interesting. So I'll be off to the side instead of the full screen. There's a sunbeam dancing Kim, thank you. You saved me. Did I mute? I muted myself. All right. How long was I muted? I don't remember muting myself, so hopefully I wasn't muted too long. But thank you all. Thank you, chat. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for being here and supporting the family and supporting Justice for London. Don't forget, email me your mailing address if you'd like a wristband with Justice for London at jsmedia@usa.com. All right. So everybody have a great rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Justice for London.
Good evening, come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. Good evening, come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. If we put in the time. Yeah. Good evening, come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet.